What a quite ridiculous game of football. Hello there, guys. Manchester City have just beat Newcastle 4-3 in a topsy-turvy, absolutely wild game, and yet another record broken for Pep Guardiola's Tricky Blues. 12 wins away from home, which is a new record, which is absolutely phenomenal and very, very Guardiola. A weird game, an ultimately pointless game, but a fun game nonetheless. And I'm going to give you my thoughts right after giving the good old people of One Football another shout out. It's a fantastic app, and if you haven't already downloaded it, what are you waiting for? Don't be silly. Don't be silly. Go and download it right now in the link in the description for absolutely £0, £0, $0, €0, or whatever. It's free basically, and it's got all the information about the world of Manchester City and across the world of football that you need to know about. So if you want all the information sent straight to your phone, go and click One Football right now in the link in the description, and it helps support my channel, which is absolutely wonderful. So do me a favour as well, if you don't mind. You won't regret it, I promise you. But that game of football, it was the most... Guys, do you fancy a kickabout game of football I've seen at this level in ages? Very much job done. Everyone's on the beach. Everyone's a little bit hungover. Just play football and see what happens. No tactics, no skill, just vibes, basically. And we still got a very entertaining game of football. I want to say sorry, by the way, during the watch long. I lost internet for 10 minutes, and after that I thought, sorry, I'm just going to watch the game. But I wasn't kind of regretting watching the game. It was really genuinely quite fun. It was kind of silly for a bit, and that essentially added a little bit of interest to a time of the season when it's hard to be interested in. And what I mean by that, not because it's hard to be interested in Manchester City ever, more just because these games don't really mean anything. I mean, they kind of do and they don't. Obviously, certain players want to make an impression, and some players have definitely done that today. But largely, we are just kind of going through the motions, preserving energy, and trying to be as professional as we can do without picking up any injuries or risking a potential place in the Champions League final for the squad players. So that's what they'll be doing. You know, the ones that are involved that'll think they'll play today. They don't want to take any risks. I understand that. So you kind of got you've got a situation where the players are trying, but they're not busting a gut because they need to do what they can to get the job done without risking themselves. I think Guardiola will understand that. Having said that, it was still pure chaos at times. It feels like if you start a defence has got Walker, Garcia and Ake in it, and then I guess it was last time it was Mendy against Leicester, but this time it was Cancelo, you're going to get penalties basically and chaos. I don't know the cause of that. It could be that maybe... Even though Garcia wasn't directly responsible for both of the goals, it could be that maybe his presence isn't quite as commanding and the other players overcompensate. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but either way, it does feel like this kind of combination of players, or a very similar combination of players, either way, causes chaos. But I'm going to talk about that in a bit. But first of all, I just want to wax lyrical about Ferran Torres, because I'm so happy for Ferran Torres, because he's had a difficult season. He's had a season where he struggled to adapt to this country, and understandably so, given the fact that he joined during the middle of a pandemic as a young lad who couldn't make new friends, who couldn't have his family over, all that kind of stuff. Then he got COVID as well and lost a little bit of a weight, so he struggled to find a space in this squad, and he struggled often to find his best form. But we all knew deep down that he was a very good player. Manchester City don't sign footballers if they're not very good players, especially tricky wingers from Spain. We knew he had talent. We've seen the goals that he scored for Spain, and we've seen him at his very best early on in the season when he was finishing quite nicely as well. Not at his very best early on in the season, but his most encouraging form early on in the season was, it definitely piqued our interest, put it that way. And tonight we saw a good example once again of what a natural finisher he was. The quality of his finish the other day, of course, when he scored a couple of weeks ago, was great. And then again tonight, I mean, he really is Ferran Torres. I knew that from Joe. Apologies, Joe, if you're watching this. But he really is a natural finisher. Honestly, he scored 3 goals tonight with an expected goals of 1.19 or something like that. The first goal was just pure actual brilliance. Honestly, instinctive brilliance that I'm sure most top players can score if they try it. But it's the fact that he tried it in the first place. That little backheel flick, Puskas level stuff. Honestly, magic. And he gets better with each repeated viewing. And the ones after that, I kind of loved even more because they were just instinctive finishes. The one was a proper striker's one. The second one, he kind of put it into the roof of the net, a really instinctive finish. And the third one was even more. Those like twitch muscles in his legs, how quickly do they react to that on the half volley, on the volleys from the deflected shot? A genuinely fantastic reactionary finish, which was just such an instinctive striker's goal. And I know he's technically not a striker, but he does look at home in the middle. His movement is good. He does have the physicality. He does have the eye for goal. Ferran Torres has scored 13 goals this season already, and despite struggling, I would say, this season generally to settle into the club and with game time in general. To put it as a slight reference point, Leroy Sané, and I'm not saying he got anywhere near Leroy Sané's best at Man City, don't worry, it's just a reference statistically. Leroy Sané's most goals in a season for Man City was 16, and Ferran Torres has got pretty close and could even match that with the remaining games, despite playing bang average for most of the season and not even playing at all. So I guess it shows you, the point I'm making is it shows you that Ferran Torres is a natural finisher and will score goals, possibly at a level that most of our wingers or even not forwards might not be able to match if he gets a run of games. Now, obviously Sterling scored 30 plus before and all that kind of stuff, but I do think Ferran is a 25 goals a season player, if not more, if he plays regularly, if he finds that role in the team and if he finds that conviction. Dead happy for him, basically. Really, really happy for him. What a quality player. Going the other way, Scott Carson was the meme, of course, today, getting his first start for Manchester City. And I felt so sorry for him, conceding 3 goals, and none of them were his fault at all. He had no chance with the header. He had no chance with that first penalty. He saved the second penalty, which is a really good save, and then, of course, they got the rebound. You must be sat there thinking, what have I done wrong? I also enjoyed the realisation that he's only 1 week older than me. Scott Carson, he looks older to be my dad, and he's a week older than me. Crazy. But either way, I was happy to see him on the pitch tonight. It wasn't his fault for any of the goals, but a crazy game of football. Defensively, we were all over the place. Ake, he should have done better for the first goal. Second one, the penalty, I thought it was ridiculous, if I'm being honest. I didn't know they were going to give it, though, straight away, because I said to someone on Twitter, like, if a moron could find a way to argue, even in the loosest of terms, that something could be a penalty, I guarantee our referees will take the opportunity to. It does feel like all they need is the tiniest reasons to find something could be a penalty, and they're going to take it. I don't know what it is, but either way, to me, it felt like Ake went for a block in the way that Zinchenko, Diaz, Stones did against PSG, the one they were all cheering each other, and for whatever reason, I think it was Almiron. Was it Almiron? I can't remember. Stepped on his leg. He wasn't near him. He didn't jump in towards the player, but they stepped on him, and then they fell over. And like, I can't help but feel like, is that Ake's fault? Is he allowed to knock out to the ground if someone's going to step on his leg? Either way, Ake didn't have a great game today, but you know, I can't really blame him. It's fine. I think Ake's had a pretty decent, some decent cameos when he has played. He's not played much this season due to injuries, but I think Ake's a decent player, man. I'm willing to give him the benefit of doubt, given the fact that he's often playing in the B teams and he's never getting a chance to play along the best players. And when he does, he looks pretty solid. But either way, it's one of those things. Garcia, token gesture, not involved in the slightest. Absolutely cooked for Walker's penalty incident. It was Walker's fault giving away a soft penalty, but he was nowhere to be seen. He's just not good enough this Manchester City side. He leaves with my best wishes and hope he has a good time at Barca, but I think we've seen now actually that he's just not strong enough, aggressive enough, assertive enough, fast enough or anything like that. Nice passer, I'm sure he's a nice lad as well, but when you've seen the physicality of Stones and Diaz and the aggression of Laporte and Ake as well to an extent, you realise actually he's just nowhere near that level, and that's how it is. And Walker went back to his brain fart, Walker, unfortunately. Maybe he needs the likes of Diaz and Stones alongside him to focus him. Either way, maybe he's just a little bit hungover. Too much pizza, as Guardiola was talking about the other night for some of these players. Other than that, we didn't really control the game particularly well, other than that spell where we had 4 minutes of passing, which was quite ridiculous. Walker messing that one up as well. We should have kept the ball, Kyle, forever. Never let Newcastle have another touch again. Sterling, absolutely non-existent, unfortunately. Genuinely concerning run of form for him, unfortunately. Gabriel Jesus, he looks more comfortable out wide. He gets more involved, but I don't think he had a particularly notable game. Just an alright game. He was just there. I was a little bit disappointed that we didn't get to see Cole Palmer. I know the game wasn't over and all that kind of stuff, and I knew he was probably never going to get on, but there was so little tension to this game, so little meaning to this game, and he's a fantastic player. He's had an incredible season over in the Premier League too for the EDS, and I wanted to see him on the pitch just because he deserves to be on the pitch. And just because if he's not going to play now, when is he going to play? And I understand why Guardiola wanted to see the game out and he wanted to send a message, and I understand why he maybe did it. I just didn't really agree. You know, I can get something and you can understand something and still not agree with the decision. I don't think it made any fucking difference at that point if you brought him on for 10 minutes. But Guardiola's boss, and I respect him, and he's right. And I guess after a sloppy defensive performance and some sloppy midfield performances, he wanted those players to be out there and see the job out and not I guess just stay professional, really. And I guess that's what motivated it. But still, I maintain Cole Palmer, after the season he's had, could have had 10 minutes, 15 minutes at least, maybe, and he would have been deserved, and he wouldn't have really affected the course of the game, because he doesn't give the ball away either. He's a brilliant player. But overall, I mean, this game doesn't mean anything, but I guess there was nice stories there. Ferran Torres in particular, fantastic stuff. I've loved seeing his hat-trick. He was wonderful. Absences, Kevin De Bruyne, obviously he's got that little bit of a knock into being precautionary. Aguero, apparently he's got a slight injury. We'll see. Maybe it's nothing to do with the game last weekend, or maybe it's something to do with Barcelona trying to sign him. Who knows? Either way, wasn't involved today, unfortunately. Likewise, Mara's got a rest, Foden got another rest, and I'm sure they'll be involved next week. But this game was fun, man. It was silly, it wasn't brilliant, but it was fun. And sometimes, I guess that's all you can ask from the games that don't actually mean anything. I'm going to do the fan view live tomorrow morning, I think, because it's Friday night, and I want to just wind down with Nicola, because why the hell not, man? So I'm going to upload this video and enjoy the fan view live. But thank you for watching this, and I will catch you tomorrow morning for the fan view live and the 5 things learned video, of course. Big love to my Patreon producers, Will Pritchard, Ahmed Ali, and Irene Jausi. Thank you so much, guys. You're absolute heroes. City won 4-3. We broke another record. Ferran Torres is a golden boy. Scott Carson is finally a Manchester City player in terms of statistically. Life's not too bad, It was fun. It wasn't perfect, but it was fun. Have a wonderful night. I'll see you tomorrow morning for the fan view live. Like, comment, subscribe. City are a massive club. We are champions. It's lovely. 4-3. Come on, City.